What's good, y'all? Cali Green 2 Fresh here. I'm currently in the tunnels with Darby TRILL. What's up, man?
What's up?
Not much, man. Just chilling. So,
Hell yeah.
So for those who don't know who you are, why don't you go ahead and give a little intro?
Well, Darby TRILL. I'm a rapper, I guess, from South Florida. And I like to make angry music for angry people.
So, coming out of Florida, man, that's fresh as hell. There's a lot going on in Florida right now. I mean, you guys got in the underground scene, underground, somewhat mainstream these days, but you got Ski Mask and fucking Ghost Main, Buffett Boys. It's pretty fresh.
Yeah, there's a lot of names coming out of Florida right now. There's a lot of fucking people doing shit. It's getting pretty hectic over here, man.
Oh, I bet, man. The rise of XXX and all of that. I mean, Florida really is home base somewhat for that, southern sound that's going on right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Heavy 3-6 Mafia influenced,
Oh, definitely. I mean, the whole 3-6 Mafia sound kind of hit a big resurgence a couple years ago, or I mean, shit, more than a couple years ago. I don't know exactly when, but a lot of people kind of have been toying with that sound now for a minute. But a lot of the cats in Florida definitely use that type of sound.
Hell yeah, and it's fresh because most of those motherfuckers don't know that 3-6 Mafia, them are some motherfucking juggalos right there, straight up.
Exactly. People get so tripped out when I'm like, oh yeah, you ever heard of Killjoy Club? And they're like, what the hell's a Killjoy Club? I'm like, man, you don't even know. Mafia 6 worked with ITP and all this shit. DJ Paul put out an album with Psychopathic. People don't even know that shit. And you see old ass pictures of Juicy J and DJ Paul wearing Hatchet Man jerseys. I think that shit's crazy.
Right? It's crazy because, people just don't know. They're not on that tip, even though, they don't even know the Mafia 6. They don't know that, 3-6 Mafia came back for a minute there.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I talk to people at work and, I'm allowed to listen to music and shit, and I'm the only one with the speaker. So, of course, I'm bumping some, ICP 3-6, and, Slob on My Knob comes on, and this fool's, rocking out to me. He's like, yeah, that Juicy J song. And I was like, hell yeah. He originally released it through 3-6 Mafia, though. The dude said, who's 3-6 Mafia? And I'm like, are you kidding me? It's Juicy J, but you don't know his roots? Come on now.
Yeah, but that's kind of a shitty point of music fans today. No one really does their research on the history of anything. They just kind of see what's popping, follow that for a minute, ditch that for whatever's popping the next minute. It sucks. No one's really putting the time into being a fan anymore. It's kind of sad.
Right? For me, whenever I discover someone, I want to find out everything I can about them, do my research, figure out who they are, what influences them, things like that,
Yeah, I'm the same exact way. Once I get into something, I'm super into it. I want to find out everything about these people, what they're like, I feel like because we're juggalos, that's always been a big thing in the juggalo community is really supporting our artists, and really finding out who these people are and all that shit.
Yeah.
Finding out the mysteries.
It's definitely, juggalos have that love and they get it, ICP in the very beginning, it was just motherfuckers in the underground supporting them, and that's how they got started, and that's what it's about, and a lot of people have forgotten that with the way illegal downloading and all that, the new millennials.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I still buy CDs, bro. I have at least 800 CDs right now.
Oh shit.
I mean, most of them psychopathic related and underground shit like that, but it's sad that, like, I just saw, what is it, Best Buy and Target, they're not going to be selling CDs anymore. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, that was such a huge, it still is, it's a huge part of being a fan to me, is going out, getting that CD, popping open that plastic, reading the book, seeing the art and everything. You get a whole thing, you know? Now you're buying a download for the same price as a physical copy, something you can't even hold. You're paying $10 for. It's weird to me, man. And then it's just so easy to pirate shit now. No one's really buying shit. Weird, man.
It's a trip, man, because I grew up the same way, like going to record stores, like independent record stores, which are near existent these days. And knowing that, like, I mean, the Best Buy closest to me, they fucking suck, but at the same time, they still have that Shaggy 2 Dope fuck the fuck off motherfucker. And they also have that Year of the Sword. So, you know, like, yeah. Yeah, so
neither of those are the Best Buy down here. I mean, I live like at the very bottom of Florida, and on like an island called Key Largo, and there's never been like a CD store down here that I can remember. There's been Goodwill and Salvo. You go get CDs from there, and Kmart, but Kmart's never had I think the closest thing to a CD I wanted to get from a Kmart was one of the Cottonmouth Kings old CDs. The one that had Save For Yourself on it, actually.
Oh, there you go. That was Long Live the Kings, yeah.
Yeah, and so, like, the nearest Best Buy is, like, 30, 40 minutes up the road from me. And when I was a kid, they had everything, like, all the old, like, Psychopathic releases and everything. But now, nah, they barely ever get anything like underground. They don't even get new Tech 9 CDs there.
Oh shit. Yeah. They definitely have Tech 9 at mine. But whenever I was a kid, you know, I originally am from a small town in Indiana called Evansville, and we had a few dope record stores there, but there's one that's still there called Coconuts. And I've heard about Coconuts. Oh, Coconuts is the shit, bro. Every time I go in there, I find rare shit, you know, like Esham and like fucking, like, they'll get like old school, like A&B shit. Like, it's crazy. Like, they actually, like, you know, buy older shit, and they're pretty popping, honestly. That's pretty dope. Yeah, there's nothing like that down here. And the record stores you do find, trying to find something like underground or Juggalo related is few and far between. Yeah, see, like over here on the West Coast in LA, there's a place called Amoeba Music, and it's a 2 fucking story like warehouse. Is that where they do that, like, what's in my bag or whatever? Yes, that ICP What's in My Bag thing was filmed there, yeah. Okay. But I go there every time I'm in LA, you know. That's like the #1 stop. I'm like, we have to go to Amoeba. My wife fucking hates it because I'll spend hours in there. You know, going through all the used shit, because that's where I find like all the good shit. Like last time I was there, they had Carnival of Carnage, Beverly Kills, like, yeah, like they had mad fucking Juggalo shit. I actually bought Fuck the Fuck Off motherfucker there. But true. They get Esham shit there. Like whenever Suspended Animation first came out, they had a copy of it there. Hell yeah. So that's what's up. That's my spot. I think the rarest, like, psychopathic release I found in Florida was up in Miami, and that's like an hour and a half away from me. And it was probably like 6 or 7 years ago when they still had an FYE there. And I found an original pressing of the Green Book with the plastic cover. Yeah. So I caught the shit out of that. So, yeah. So back on the music tip though. So you're from Florida, you know, you've definitely got that new school flavor, but as I put it, like, you know, whenever I was talking to you before, it's like you're that new school Southern sound drenched in Faygo. It's
Yeah,
fucking, it's mad fresh.
I like that. I like that.
It's definitely like, you know, it's got that kind of swag tooth Ouija sound to it, because they got that new school sound, but at the same time they're juggalos.
Yeah, Ouija, that's the homie right there. Ouija's hella cool. I actually, like, the song I got to do with him, that's, like, probably one of my favorite songs I've ever done, is that song with Swag Tooth. But, yeah, man, I want to keep, like, the wicked shit alive, and it needs to, like, evolve, you know? It can't keep using the same, like, old beats. It needs something that's going to help it keep up with what's going on. And the way I look at it, you know, you listen to all of, like, ICP's old albums, and it's kind of like they took what was popular at the time and then made it their own, you know? Like, they took it and kind of, like, fucked with it and made it, like, that carnival shit and made it the wicked shit, but it still had, like, the sound of the time, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely. Definitely, like, Carnival of Carnage is definitely, like, you know, with the times, with that fucking carnival flavor. Same with, like, Great Malenko. It's got that kind of rap metal-ish vibe to it that's going on at the time. They stayed relevant with the time.
And definitely with Jekyll Brothers, you know. Jekyll Brothers was in 99. That's when, like, all that new metal shit was really popping off. And, like, they had that heavy, like, guitar in there, and, like, Jay was screaming his ass off all the time. They always did that, and, like, that's how you gotta keep shit alive, you know? You gotta adapt with the times. You gotta keep shit going. So, like, and I like beats that bump, you know? I like a lot of bass. Like, bass is my favorite part of music. It's just hearing that, like, rumble, you know? Like, giving people shit that can really knock their trunk. So, and I mean, being from the South and everything, you know, growing up here and all that Southern rap shit, like, that's always been a part of it, is the fucking thumps. So.
Hell yeah. So, how exactly did you discover ICP, and how long have you been a Juggalo?
Alright, so I'm 25, I turned 26 this year. I found out about ICP when I was like 10 or 11 years old. And I remember when the Wraith came out. Like, this isn't my very first interaction with them, but I just remember seeing at a Specs music store, they had the big cardboard cutout of the Wraith with, like, the CDs in its hand. And I thought it was the coolest shit ever. And I bought that, and I had that CD when I was a kid. We'll bump it all the time, but I really, like, became, like, a Juggalo when I was probably, like, 13, 14. So, like, 13 years I've been down. And I just remember seeing them on the news as a kid. Like, seeing my parents have the news on, and I saw them on there, didn't know what the hell it was. And I remember when I first told them about me listening to it, they got pissed. They were not about it. They're like, oh, that's, like, not good for you. And I just kept listening to it anyway. But I remember there's this kid, his name was James. He lived right down the street from me, and him and his brother are actually the very first people that showed me ICP. And I think they showed me something from Ringmaster. I think, because I remember seeing, like, the Ringmaster on the CD. So, but don't know exactly what song. But the song that really, really got me into it was definitely Halls of Illusions.
Hell yeah, that's fucking dope, man. And I can really relate. You know, I fucking discovered ICP when I was like 9 years old, and I'm turning 31 this year.
Word.
So, like, whenever I discovered them was like around the time that Great Malenko was coming out.
True.
And you know, being from Indiana, which is, you know, just south of fucking Michigan, there was already, like, you know, a Juggalo movement in my hometown when I was that young. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, like a small one, but they used to do, like, free JCW events and shit, like, in my hometown. Yeah.
Man, that's super dope.
Yeah, like, my hometown's, like, really big on wrestling. Coliseum Wrestling was a thing there. Like, Jerry the King and shit like that used to wrestle there.
You know, that's funny, because my actual last name is Lawler. I wish I was related to the king though, but I'm not. But I mean, dude, when I was growing up and like I really got into it, like I was the only one in my town, because I mean there was like 100 and some people in my graduating class in high school. Like it's a really small town, and I was really the only one that was repping like being a Juggalo. I've probably met 2 or 3 at the most ever in this town, besides myself. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So it was really weird. Like, a lot of people didn't understand what the hell it was. Like, I'd go to school every day wearing, like, ICP shirts every single day from my freshman year to my senior year. I wore ICP shirts pretty much every single day. And no one knew what the hell it was. And then the kids that would try to find out would just, like, give me shit for it. So, yeah.
So, what is the music scene like down there then?
Honestly, where I live, there is no music scene whatsoever. There's not like any other rappers in the Keys that I really know of. I mean, there's this one kid, but he's really not like doing much. He just puts out like music, doesn't perform or anything. And then, but there's a collective up in Miami called Nephilim Gang, which I've become a part of. That was started by my boy Colossus. And so there's a scene like a little bit further up north, but where I'm at, there's nothing. Like I gotta drive out to every show I do, and there's no opportunity to set up a show down here because no like bars or venues or anything are really open to doing it, because most of the venues are just bars for old people to go get drunk at.
Damn, that fucking sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, when I was younger, there was like, in high school and shit, there was more of a rock scene. Like, I used to play in a punk band, and so we would do like random shows at this kid had a like big ass side yard, and they built a stage there and called it the Bungor Amphitheater. And we would go perform there with like a bunch of thrash bands and punk bands, and like the first rap show I ever did was there too. But I like rapped over guitar and shit so we could like kind of sneak into it. And then, but that was way back in high school, and ever since then, ever since they all grew up and moved away, there's been absolutely nothing down here.
So then, how long have you actually been making music yourself?
Holy shit. Since I was like 14 or 15, I tried learning how to play bass, sucked at that. Learned kind of how to play drums, pretty much sucked at that too. But I always liked writing lyrics, and when I was playing the drums, I was also singing and like screaming and shit. And so I just eventually was like, you know what, fuck these drums, I'm not doing this. And then I just tried to sing for the band for a little bit, never really got anywhere with that, and I was just like drunk one time and started freestyling, and that's how I started rapping. And then so I was just like, you know, I want to keep writing music and making music and shit, so I'll just try this rapper shit. So I've probably been rapping since, and like recording rap since I was like 16 or 17.
That's what's up, man. Is any of that music available?
You know, a lot of it is still on the internet, sadly. I hope people don't find it and make the connection, because it's super, super bad. You know, that, like, when I first started recording was around the first time I read Behind the Paint, and where they were talking about, like, setting up the speakers and then recording, you know, on their jukebox or whatever, their machine or whatnot.
Yeah,
I got the idea of it. Yeah, so I set up speakers and this shitty laptop I had, plugged in my iPod with some beats on it to the speakers, had the beat coming out, and just stuck my head between the speakers and rapped onto the laptop mic. So all of it's like not mixed. It's very hard to hear, and it's just very garbage, very rushed music. I didn't know how to like put together any like choruses or verses. I didn't know how to count bars or anything, so it's really bad. A lot of the punk stuff is still up too. I think there's like 3 songs where you can hear me like sing rapping, and that stuff's on MySpace. that stuff, I don't care if people find out, but like my old rap shit is just so atrocious. It's like the worst shit ever.
So how about this? I won't ask you what your original rap name was then, but what was the name of your original punk band?
Brain Dead.
Brain Dead. All right.
Yeah.
I'll try and find that on MySpace. I still got an account.
Yeah, there's like 30 different Brain Dead, so I mean, it'll be pretty obvious when you come across the one that has the guy in the Violent J clown looking mask. that was but yeah. Fun.
So aside from the shitty music though, you recently dropped a pretty fucking dope album called Cat Dead, Details Later.
Hey, thank you.
So tell us a little bit about it. I know like before we started the interview, you were telling me that your cat's not actually dead.
Yeah, no, my cat is like chilling somewhere around the room right now. His name's Proto. But so Cat Dead Details Later is, I just started working with like probably the greatest producer I've ever and probably ever will work with. It's my dude Cuddy, Cutthroat the Coroner. He's out of Texas. He started sending me beats, and then he asked me if I had any old acapellas around to do remixes. I sent him a couple acapellas, and what he sent back was like the greatest thing I've ever heard my voice on ever. And so I was like, dude, I just want to keep working with you. Like, let's put out a tape. And then we decided just to like put out a remix tape and take like all those old acapellas from old songs and remix and master them and put them on completely new beats that were all mine, nothing like anyone else could use, you know. So it's like, this is my first tape of like music that's actually mine. Like, no one else can rap over these beats. So I'm super proud of it. And it's just like the precursor of what's to come. Like, we've got 2 more albums dropping this year, me and Cuddy, that he produced. But, so yeah, sorry, I get kind of all over the place. I'm like spacey. But, so yeah, Cat Dead Details Later is like a remixed album. And the name of it is in reference to the movie Reanimator, because all the tracks are more dead than reanimated and made better than before.
Well, hell yeah. It's definitely fresh as fuck. I mean, Master Shake Stole My Car Keys. It's a fucking out there name. And all the names are out there, but that fucking song is pretty fucking fresh.
Yo, that's funny, because that's probably like my favorite song off the whole tape. That's like one of my favorite songs I put out in so long. And like the original beat sampled that like White Girl's 500 Miles song. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like with the piano or whatever. So like when Cuddy sent back that remix and it was just like what it is, I was blown away, man. I love that. Like, I have a show next Friday, and it's the first time I'm going to be able to perform these tracks, and like that's the one I'm like most excited to perform. Like, I love that song.
I mean, this album's definitely dope. Just like going over the track list right now. You know, I've been listening to it the last few days, like on repeat, trying to get ready for this interview.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, you know, like I don't even know how the fuck I discovered you, honestly. Like, I think you sent me a friend request a while back, and then
yeah, man.
yeah, like I just fucking stumbled across your music one day. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, man. Like, that's the one thing. I don't really try to like force my music down anyone's throat. Like, I requested you just because I'm a fan of your, like, the CarnivalSpirits channel. So I was like, oh shit, that's Callie. Like, oh fuck, I'll add him. So I sent that request. But yeah, man, I don't really, like, I share my music, but I don't want to shove it down anyone's throat, because I know like a lot of it's kind of like out there, and like a lot of people see the names and they're like, what the fuck? But it's like, I don't know, I like naming my songs weird things.
Like, I'm just gonna name some of your tracks. I found Maggots in the lunchbox again, or in the lunch meat again. Let's see, this one, I love this one. Street Sharks, and Cookie Crisp on a Saturday morning. One of the ones that is probably going to connect with like a lot of our listeners definitely is No One Wants to Be My Friend Because I'm a Juggalo.
Yo, alright, so there's actually like a little story behind that song. This kid hit me up one time telling me that he really liked my music and that he wanted to work with me. So I was like, okay, for sure, man, like, send me something, I'm down to do a song, whatever. And so, a couple days later, I went and got my second Hatchet Man tattoo. I got the Hatchet Man with all the original 6. And so, I posted a picture of that on my Facebook, and the kid saw it, he like angry reacted to it, then sent me a message, he's like, you really fuck with that Juggalo shit? I'm like, yeah, man, like, I love that music, like, that's my shit. He's like, I can't fuck with you, bro. I'm like, what? I'm like, bro, you just were like on my nuts the other day telling me how much you love my music and how you were excited to work with me and everything, and now, like, because of what I listen to personally, which has nothing really to do with my music, you don't want to work with me. I mean, whatever. So, like, I had a bunch of beats on my laptop, and I fucking wrote that song, named it that, and that's the story behind that one. People are whack.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, that's fucked up. Like, I've had similar situations though, where like at work or whatever, like people find out I'm a Juggalo and they're like, they start looking at you differently. Like, oh really?
Yeah, bro.
You're a Juggalo? And it's like we were cool like a couple days ago. What the fuck? Why does this all of a sudden change that?
Yeah, I don't get it, because it's like, I don't look at you weird because you're out here bumping, like, I don't even know what the fuck, the Katy Perry or whatnot. Like, do you, man? Like, your freak flag fly, but I'm not going to judge someone based off of the music they listen to. Like, what the fuck? Like, everyone's got their own interests, man. And some people are just super closed-minded.
I feel it, man. Like, you know, it's like I might make fun of you a little bit because you bumping Justin Bieber or whatever, but that's
Yeah.
that's not going to change our
Like,
friendship.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to sit there and bump Justin Bieber with you, and on the same note, I'm not going to force you to sit there and listen to ICP with me if that's not what you're into. But, I mean, you don't got to treat me completely different because of the music I listen to. Like, shit. I mean, I don't care if someone, like, jokingly says something, but if you're going to treat me completely differently or just tell me to fuck off because of what I listen to, that's kind of weird, man.
See, and there's a difference, you know what I mean? Because there's a difference between having a homie that fucks with you a little bit because, you know, you're a Juggalo, and then the guy who just actually fucking doesn't like you because of it.
Yeah, man, it's so weird. Like, people hold just like this strong hatred for Juggalos, and I will never understand it. It's just like the weirdest fucking shit. It's all over music. I don't get it, man. I really just don't get it.
Like, I remember this was Tempest era. I worked at Hot Topic around that time, and you know, my manager knew I was a Juggalo. He used to poke fun at me over it. Tempest just came out, and like, we got it on the radio station at work, and so, you know, he doesn't like ICP. He's made it known, but he played it for me, you know what I mean? And like, tried to get down with it a little bit. And, you know, like, he would fuck with me, but at the same time, he was still a cool dude. And whenever, you know, they were done promoting that fucking album, I got the window cling that they had. They had a fucking Hatchet Man, like, window cling.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, a big ass one. And it's like, with the fucking Hatchet Man in a big, like, swirly thing. And he let me,
that's pretty dope.
yeah, like, he was supposed to throw it out, and like, he pulled me in the back, was like, hey man, throw this in your backpack.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick, dude.
So, you know, and then you get the guy where you're like at a fucking, you know, like a metal show or something, and you're sporting a Hatchet Man, and they want to fucking, like, you know, just beat your fucking brains in the pit or something because you're a Juggalo.
Dude, I feel it, man. It's funny, too, because I have a friend, Goatmane, who, in school, anytime he saw me before we were friends, he used to call me Insane Clown Pussy. And I was just like, you know, fuck you, I don't even know you, kid. He started hanging out with me. He's like, you know, I've never actually listened to ICP. I'm like, okay, like, do you want to hear him? This kid used to call me insane clown pussy, and now he has a Hatchet Man tattooed to his arm, bro. Like, some people, they talk about it and they don't even know what they're talking about. And if they, I mean, he gave it a chance and he ended up falling in love with it, you know? People are just closed-minded, man.
You know, like, as a kid growing up being a Juggalo and during the time of, like, the Eminem beef, it was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It was fucking crazy because that was the only way that, like, a lot of these kids knew ICP was from, like, that skit, you know what I mean? Where they're fucking blowing Eminem, and then he had that track, I can't remember which track it was, but he talks about, like, how he, like, fucking was shooting paintballs at him or whatever, and that was the only way that people knew ICP, that and wrestling. Those were the two main things. And, you know, whenever they had their little stint in wrestling, let's be honest, it wasn't the greatest. You know, they were constantly getting their asses kicked.
Yeah.
So it didn't really help their image much. But that's how people knew them. So that's what they would relate me to. Be like, you know, it's...
Oh, true.
They'd be like,
That's fucked up, man.
You listen to that shit? You're down with that shit? They never heard a fucking single song other than, you know, the Oddities theme song.
Right.
But, I mean, it's crazy because Juggalos have come a long way, you know. We actually have media support these days, and we have people that are actually, like, you know, looking at us in a positive way, and it's crazy because it's really split down the middle. It's like they're either, like, you know, completely bashing or completely praising.
Yeah, man. It's definitely a lot different than it used to be. That's for fucking sure.
So, speaking of things being different, you know, we have the split going on right now with Psychopathic and MNE.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the whole, like, Twisted falling out?
You know, as someone who's listened to them and looked up to them and, like, been, like, truly affected by all of the music from everyone that is on Psychopathic or once was on Psychopathic, you know, like, it's heartbreaking, bro. It's like, you know, my parents already split up. Like, it's like my parents split up again. You know, seeing, like, people, and, like, it kind of sucks. Like, when I was at the Most Tasteless shows, like, hearing them saying, like, Psychopathic for life on certain tracks and shit, you know, like, and talking about the Hatchet, it, like, hurts, man. And it hurts to see, like, you know, the disses go back and forth. Like, Year of the Sword was a super dope album, but I can only listen to it so much because it's like, fuck, I know who they're talking about, like, and I don't want to hear that. Like, it sucks, man. It's horrible, man. And just the fact that they're not, like, even, like, friends anymore. You know, it's not like, oh, we're gonna go do this, and, like, you know, but we're still down. No, it's like, we're gonna go do this, and, like, fuck you. So, it kind of sucks, man. It sucks a lot.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I still got mad love for both sides, still support them to the fullest, you know? So, like when Twisted came down to Florida, I got to open up for them at the Fort Lauderdale show and the St. Petersburg show, and that's, like, the first time I actually got to meet them and shit, too. And they were super cool guys. And, like, when I met ICP and shit, they were super cool guys. So, it's like, and they both make awesome music, and just because they split up, I'm not gonna start talking shit about one side or whatnot, but I just wish shit didn't have to happen like that, you know?
You know, it's crazy because Magic Ninja is a dope label. There's no getting around it. Like, you know,
Oh, yeah.
fucking, I mean, it's you know, Psychopathic, but not, basically.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta admit, it is kind of like Psychopathic version 2 or whatever, you know? You got a lot of the same artists from Psychopathic on there. they're kind of trying to do the same thing and like cater to the same crowd and everything, but it's different. I don't know, man. But I mean, as a label, everyone's dropping like super good music, and I'm still buying it. You know, I'm still supporting the fuck out of it. So
yeah, I'm right there with you. It fucking sucks, man, because you know, I'm a big fan of like you know, Gmo Ski and A&B, Young Wicked, Blaze. I love me some fucking Blaze.
Oh, bro. I love Blaze and Young Wicked, man. Young Wicked's such a cool fucking dude, too, and, like, his music is super fucking good. I loved, like, the Vengeance EP he dropped, super fire. And Prodigal Son, super fire. That's a super talented guy. Like, his production, his singing, his rapping, everything's just, like, really fucking fire.
Oh, like, fucking Axe Murder Boys, like, how do I put this? Whenever they came out and I discovered them, like, that was the point where I just went full on fucking Juggalo. Like, I'd been, you know, down with ICP and Twisted and Blaze and ABK, and like I kept up with everything. But whenever A&B came out and I discovered them, next thing I know, I'm only listening exclusively to Juggalo shit. And like, before A&B, you know, I was heavy in like Slipknot and Korn and, you know, of course my Juggalo shit too, but that shit kind of like phased away after I discovered A&B. I don't know why that is.
True. I mean, I love Slipknot and I love Korn. Like, I love that shit. I love a lot of different types of music, but A&B, bro, I thought they got so much hate for no reason. And like, Blood In, Blood Out, that's like one of my favorite psychopathic releases of all time. I thought that album was like flawless front to back. I thought they both delivered. I think that's probably my favorite shit that Bones has been a part of. I thought Bones really shined on that. Like, back in the day, I thought Bones was better than Otis. On Blood In, Blood Out, I thought Bones had a lot of the better wordplay and verses and shit. And I mean, lately, not so much. Like, I still fuck with what he's putting out, but I feel like it's not as like hard as his older shit, you know what I'm saying?
I feel it, man. And, you know, Bones is a really cool fucking dude as well. You know, like, I interviewed him, like a year or so ago? Yeah, it's 2 years ago now, I'm guessing, because he was still on Psychopathic.
Oh shit, that's dope, man.
Yeah, it was whenever he was dropping the singles.
Oh, okay.
And actually,
I did fuck with that I Can't Wait feeling that he did.
That one was mega dope. Like,
yeah, that was super hard.
But I actually, you know, like, he was supposed to release, what was it, one song per week, and if you remember correctly, he fell off. And like, he released all 4 songs, but I think I actually fucked that up, in all honesty, because
Really?
yeah, around that time that he was doing that, he put out a thing for, like, you know, collabs. He was doing discounted collabs, and I hit him up, and I'm like, bro, I want to buy a whole fucking Bones Dub song. And I bought one of the songs, straight up.
Really?
Yeah, it's gonna be on the Ninjas in Action 2 that you're also gonna be on.
Oh shit.
But I've been sitting on it all this time.
Damn, son. I'm hyped to hear that shit, though.
Dude, it's pretty fucking dope, honestly. You know, it's got that same feel that he was going for at that time, you know, because it's from that time. But if I remember correctly, one of the songs he did was with my boy Saint Decay from the Canonized crew.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember what song it's called, but that's actually a Mob song. He was supposed to do a project with Saint Decay, and it was called Mob, M-O-B-B. And I'm still waiting for that shit. Yo, Saint Decay, Bones Dub, what up, though?
Yeah. That shit would be fire. I actually, what the fuck, but Saint Decay did a song with Swag Tooth.
Yeah? Oh shit.
Yeah, man. It was. I think it's on like Tooth Gang and Palace 2 or 1, but it's with
Wait, that's right. Holy shit. I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
DJ Profit and Swag Tooth. That shit was pretty hard.
Hell yeah. Saint Decay's my boy, you know.
Hell yeah, that's dope, man.
He's on the Ninjas in Action project as well. He did. Actually, I paid for a track with C to 6, and he hopped on that, and then I let him put it out on his Lord Death tape.
Oh, word.
But we got a remix version of it. We got a chopped and screwed version of it by DJ Mad Hatter. So
okay.
It's gonna be mad fresh. And then, you know, your track that you did with Swagtooth, like, I mean, it's just icing on the cake, man. Why don't you tell us about that track a little bit?
Well, that's like definitely my favorite track I have out because, I mean, I have a little Toothy tattoo. Like, when I first heard Swagtooth, I was just like, damn, this is like the dopest shit I've heard in forever. Like, I've bumped their shit from Earwigs all the way to Dead York so many goddamn times, bro. Like, I look up to both Ouija and Choir Boy so much. I think they're both insanely talented artists. And, like, it was always something I wanted to do. Like, I really don't like to collab with people. Like, I don't know why. I just don't like to collab with people that much. But the Swagtooth collab was something I had to, like, make happen. And sadly, it happened, like, at the end of their career. And I think that's the last song that they ever did together. And when I sent it to them, I got originally, like, how they both have full verses at the end. It was supposed to be, like, them both on one verse. But they both sent me back just, like, the song with my verse, and then, like, it would be my verse and Ouija's verse. And then Choir Boy sent me one with my verse and just Choir Boy's verse. And I was like, uh-oh, like, something's going on. And, like, I talked to, like, a couple of the people from, like, the OG Tooth Gang, and they were like, yeah, man, there's some shit going on right now. Like, I don't know what the fuck's about to happen, like, between these two. And then eventually they split up or whatnot. But still, that's, like, I'm so proud. I'm so happy I got to do that with both of them. Like, I love both them dudes. Like, much love to Choir Boy and Ouija Mac of Rama.
You know, it sucks, man. Like, honestly, because I'm a Swagtooth fan. You know what I mean? Like Swagtooth. I'm a fan of Ouija and Choir, both separate as well. I mean, that set fucking tape that Choir put out, fucking fire, man.
Yeah, man, Choir Boy is super fire, bro. And, like, he does a lot of production on their shit, too. And, like, his production, like, on Shadowland, the production on that, and I think they took, like, Chino's, like, different moans and shit from the Deftones and, like, sampled that into that track. Like, both of them together had such good chemistry, and it really fucking sucks that whatever happened, and that it's not a thing now. And if Swagtooth together collectively would have been on the Hatchet, that would have been, like, the greatest thing ever.
Oh, I agree 100%.
Like, I'm glad that, like, at least Ouija's on there, but both of them on there would have been, you know, fucking amazing. But, I mean, it's so dope to see Ouija out there, like, you know, repping the Hatchet and shit. Like, that's fucking awesome, man. Like, Psychopathic definitely made a good move picking up Ouija back and trying to get Swagtooth to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, Swagtooth would have been dope as shit, but at the same time, I am glad Ouija is on the label himself. Speaking of Ouija, hey Ouija motherfucker, where's my shirt? I ordered a shirt back in October, and whenever he got signed, like, it screwed up his merch game somehow.
Oh,
So,
true.
yeah.
Well, I mean, what I'm guessing is it was probably like some old swag tube shit or something like that, and I don't think he has any of that shit anymore.
Oh no,
that I know of.
I ordered one of his newer shirts actually that he's been having on
Oh,
tour.
word.
Yeah, it's
Oh, word.
yeah, and like I don't know if he just got like super backed up or what, man, or like he's just on the road too much to like stop at the post office. But he's communicating with me, so that's good.
No, yeah, I know that motherfucker is super duper hella busy all the time. Like, he works a lot. Like, that I know of, like, I know he's always, like, working on, like, his new shit that's about to come out and all this other shit. And, like, he's been on pretty much every tour that Psychopathic's done and every show since he's got on the label. Because, I mean, I sent Luigi a song. Me and him are supposed to do this song together. And I haven't really heard much about that, but I know he's good for it. And I'm sure he's good for your shirt, man.
Oh yeah, I know. I give him the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? Like I definitely do.
Yeah.
Like Ouija is the fucking shit. I got lucky.
Yeah,
My homie stopped at one of like the tour stops. What was it? Like a few months back, and he got me the like yellow shirt. So that was.
Oh, word. Yeah, I got that shirt.
Yeah, he got me that one, and I'm just waiting on as the one where it's like, yeah, the black one. That is super fucking dope. I'm waiting on that, and whenever I was talking to him last, he said that whenever he sends it out, that there's gonna be extra freshness, and he's saying that like it's for all orders. So
Yeah, man. No, I fucking Ouija's a good dude. It'll come through, man. And the dude that designed our church, Grim Job, like, I don't know if you're familiar with, like, Ross Williams and Handsome and shit, but Grim Job is, like, the guy that designed, like, those shirts for Ouija. That dude's art is so fucking dope. I love that dude's art style. Like, I got the jacket version of the shirt you're talking about, and, like, the way Grim Job does the eyes and shit, it's so fucking funny, man. Like, your shit's so dope.
yeah, I wish I could have afforded to get the fucking jacket because it's super fucking dope, man.
Yeah,
It's mad fresh. But aside from Ouija, how do you feel about the current roster over at Psychopathic?
You know, I think they're fucking killing it right now, man. I mean, LYTE's super dope. Can chop his ass off. Like, I'm not a big fan of, like, choppers, to be honest. Like, I don't care how fast anyone can rap, but the way LYTE does it, I really fuck with LYTE shit. Hoodoo is super slept on, man. I feel like Hoodoo should be a lot bigger than he is. Like, when the Crystal Skull came out, I thought that was such, like, a solid album, and then Asylum was even better. And then you got Ouija, of course, the Clowns, you know, and then I don't know what the fuck, I mean, I don't think anyone knows what's going on with Killer right now, but I hope that shit gets hashed out so we can get fucking Shapeshifter finally. But I mean, I think where they're going right now and the team they have right now is super fucking solid. And everything they've dropped within the past couple years has been really, like, top-notch shit. Like, LYTE's EP was super dope. All, like, the singles and shit, the Hollow Wicked shit they did was super dope. Like, I cannot wait for Fearless Red Fury, man. Like, I'm so excited for that album. I think they're really gonna, like, come through on that shit.
Oh, I feel it. Like, I'm right there with you, man. Like, everybody keeps hyping, like, the next Psychopathic album, like the next ICP album or whatever. Like, this is gonna be the return of the wicked shit. This is gonna be the return. But, I mean, it is what it is, man. Like, it is all fucking wicked, but I really feel that this album is gonna have, like, an extra hint of it.
Yeah, I feel like right now, where they're at, they're back to being, like, they have something to be angry about. They have something to fuel that, like, don't get me wrong, like, I like all the newer, like, cards or whatever, but I feel like Missing Link, Lost and Found were kind of rushed sounding, like, I feel like lyrically, they didn't really put that much into it. And then I was kind of bummed out when the Outtakes album came out, and most of the songs on the Outtakes are better than the actual albums themselves, in my personal opinion, you know?
This is an ongoing thing that I keep hearing motherfuckers say too, and it cracks me up, because I remember Jay in an interview, or I don't even think it was an interview, I think it was just some juggalo that threw on a camera at like a signing or whatever, and was like, hey man, are you guys gonna perform any of the Outtakes album? And Jay's like, fuck no, that shit sucks.
Yo, what is he talking about? Like, no, stop that. Like, the Outtakes was so fire. That song, The Dream, is probably one of the best songs they've come out with in a while. Six Pedophiles, like, that song is like the wicked shit, you know? That's what I want to hear from them. Like, that's why I like them, is because they talk about killing fucking piece of shit people, and I relate to that. Like, that shit, like, that's what should have been on the album, not like the neighbors are fighting. Like, that's not even like a song. Just like, you know.
Well, hell yeah, man. So, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, man. Do you have any shout outs you want to give?
Shout out to you and everyone at CarnivalSpirits. Shout out my boy Hexlord. Got a track coming out with him soon. Shout out my boy Lil Knife. Got a song coming out with him. And another song coming out with my boy DJ Jet the Flaw. I fuck with a lot of people, man. My boy Tommy Goes the Dark One. Jimmy Free. Colossus, Gremlins from Nephilim Gang. E-Meta. There's a lot of people that deserve shout outs, man. So shout out all them. And thank you for having me on, man. This is really dope. Sorry if I'm like kind of all over the place with my responses. I know I'm like kind of a space case, and that kind of pisses people off sometimes, but thank you.
Nah, you're all good, man. I'm right there with you. Like, I have conversations with Beastmaster sometimes, and he's like, hold on, back up. Slow down.
Yeah, man. I'll start talking about something, and it'll remind me of something else, and then I'm just on these tangents that kind of lead to nowhere.
Right? Yeah, I do the same shit, so you're good, man. But yeah, thank you for coming on the show. This is CarnivalSpirits. We be those ninjas in action. It's the year of the gnome. In the tunnels with Darby TRILL. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one out with a track from Darby. This one's called No One Wants to Be My Friend 'Cause I'm a Juggalo.